Swap on the track right here.
But welcome,
everyone.
Are you kidding?
There we go.
Thank y'all again so much for joining us tonight on another wonderful Tuesday, Marriage Monday on Tuesday.
Marriage Monday on Tuesday.
We are Damien and Jamie,
yes,
collectively known as.
That is we. Marriage is real.
And we just want to welcome you guys to the podcast tonight. We're going to do some great things. We got a special guest in the building tonight. We'll be bringing her out in just a second. Just want to touch bases with everybody, see how everyone's week was, see how everybody's doing. Let us know where you're tuning in from as I go to the comments and see if anybody's joining us. Thank you guys so much for another week of dealing with us.
Yes, and for all of everybody who's returning, welcome back, and everybody who's new, welcome. As you know, you're welcome once, you're welcome twice, you're welcome 3 times. You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your dad, share this.
But yeah, so if you are joining us tonight, share this with your people, whoever you are, wherever you are, so you can tune in and hang out with us and check out this amazing topic. So it's 8:32. I say we go ahead and get cracking. What you think?
Let's crack it. Let's get cracking.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce our guests. I tried to tell my wife to go on and read her bio, but she don't want to read. So y'all just gonna have to deal with me.
Put me on the spot. Still here is what's going on, y'all.
Every time we got some, that, right?
The devil is
after we upgraded all this internet, all this thing like that. I want to start tripping. So much go on.
Must.
So Brandenburg, man, women, she's been married to her college boy. It's the 15-year itch or transition years, as LB describes it, where couples have been together long enough to fall into the day-to-day rut of just being married. You find yourself content and comfortable, and interactions with your husband are becoming more predictable. Sex than the butterfly flowers that were once there are quickly fading into the land where marriage becomes boring and stale. But that all changes when LB, with her contagious energy and vibrant personality challenges you to reignite the intimacy and position yourself for more passion and pleasure by changing the way you show up. LB helps her clients to discover that an improved, enhanced marriage is simply a byproduct of you becoming a better you.
Absolutely.
And as you make the changes from the inside out, it powerfully carries over into how you show up in every area of your life. LB hosts quarterly Miss Mary makeover retreats where her ambitious attendees receive a total makeover from transforming their marriage mindset to create new shades of foreplay. Using her 3-stage makeup of an irresistible wife, trademark, signature framework, she inspires her attendees to be married and magical by teaching them how to manage, magnify, and mesmerize being irresistible and fully enjoying their marriage and the one they are married to. LB is an accomplished 2-time author, and she has been featured on NBC, ABC, Rolling Out, and Huffington Post. She lives in Atlanta, GA, with her handsome husband and 2 darling daughters, Demi and Lexi. So, without further ado, we would like to introduce the incomparable,
Huh.
the intelligent,
Yes.
the amazing,
Hallelujah.
LB, the wife coach. Come on in and join us, LB.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, but I've been featured on Marriage is Real too. I gotta add that to my
What? Don't you act like that, like we fancy or something.
What up, fam?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited. Y'all know it's Tame Your Tongue Tuesday.
Okay, talk to us about that. Let's go and get it cracking.
I'm just saying, I got to make sure I am constantly reminded to tame that tongue. Communication, what? We know relationships are all about learning how to communicate.
Absolutely.
And taming your tongue is one way you do that. So I always like to remind my ladies on Tuesdays, especially, to tame that tongue.
I like that.
I like that reminder because we be forgetting. We forget. I need to put that on the sticky note.
It is
Tuesday in the bathroom on the mirror.
I'm gonna write it on there for us so she'll remember. It's Tuesday. You know what it is. I don't want to hear no.
Let's see.
We got some. Okay, we already got some people joining us from BS3.
Thank you for joining us.
Keith Jones, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. So we have been collaborating in the background for a few weeks, trying to find out what the perfect topic is for us to talk about. And so we put our brains and brain power together and we came up with a great topic. Do you want to introduce it or do you want me to?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. So what we talked about was if I could go back in time, I almost thought about using a Back to the Future kind of deal, but I don't want no trademark infringements or nothing like that.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. But if we could go back in time and without messing up the space-time continuum, what would you go back and tell your younger self that you're about to get into being married? You and I have been married almost 24 years. LB, you've been married 12 years, right? Going on 13?
Almost 13.
Almost 13. So we got a little skin in the game, if you will.
You do.
So we could go back and we're going to let you kick it off, LB. What's something that you would tell your younger self to kind of get your mind right, get yourself prepared for what you're about to get into if you could do that?
Don't trade places, Miss Celia. Don't trade places. Okay, look, I've been married to my baby daddy, Derek, for almost 13 years. And although y'all, we have a good thing. Like, it's not perfect, we know that. But I have a really good relationship with my husband. And even though we've been married for almost 13 years, I can be honest and let you know I haven't always been a wife. I need people to understand that. Although I've been married for almost 13 years, I haven't always been a wife. So if I had to go back to LB, who was all about the wedding day, who really wanted to, just get married because that's the next step in your relationship, I would really tell her about the journey and how it's all about maturity. Like, marriage will mature you or it will expose the immaturity in you. And so
that's so real.
I don't hear that, the growth that it's going to take in order to really dominate, to show up in this position. And so I was just under the impression that marriage is just, hey, that's what you do. You go together forever. You get married.
Right.
Happily ever after. I don't know what happily ever after is, but you live happily ever after.
Right.
So I would definitely talk to her about the maturity and the growth, because there was a lot of things that I was doing that was very immature.
Right.
And I didn't know, I'm married now.
Right.
I didn't know the way I talk to my man. I didn't know I had to, check my temperament from time to time because so it's the maturity. I would definitely talk to myself about, you are going to be growing up in this marriage with your husband. So get ready for that immaturity to be exposed so that you can deal with it.
And it don't even matter how old you are. You're going to still be growing up because you ain't never did life with this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, marriage has definitely, I like to call it the best form of self-development. I'm not saying get married to go to self. I'm not saying get married just to go through the self-development, but I have become the woman y'all see today is because of the man I married. Like I have to give him the man he is because of the woman he married. So we have gone through this process of evolving, this evolution, and really growing and understanding what is it going to take for us to make it last forever. Not just cliche. Not just making it last, and we've been married 24 plus years, and we just no. you. I want to still like you. I mean, you might get on my nerves, but
That's what I'm saying.
I love you.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, what is it going to take? And it took a lot of self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
It took me really looking at, okay, you know what, LB, sometimes it's not him, it's you. Ooh, do you know how much maturity that took? Come on, Jamie, help me out, baby.
Come on, that part right there. Because that's why I always say, like, look at you first. Like, there's always two sides of every coin, two sides to every story. There's three sides, your side, his side, and the truth. But what part did you play in it? Because a lot of times, we know. We know.
It ain't never my fault. And the thing about it, I realized as women, the married women, y'all know what all married women are,
right?
So that married woman would manipulate. I can make you think. You talking about gaslighting? I can make you think you the problem.
Girl.
I didn't want to be wrong. I did not want to hold on to the accountability that I contributed to this situation.
You saying that.
Yeah, man. Maturity is a big thing when it comes to being
I just was telling my daughter yesterday, I said, women, girls, females, whatever, can be spoiled brats because of how we've been taught that, you know, the guys chase us and the men's supposed to do this, and you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what are you supposed to do? And a lot of times, like you said, you can manipulate, you can gaslight, you can make him, and because of how, if your husband really loves you, because of how he feels about you, he see your feelings hurt, he see you, you know, acting away, he's gonna come to you, and you can just lean into your rational lies that we talked about last week, rationalizing how you acting like a fool. You know what I'm saying? I'm on your toes.
But Jamie, look, but that's how I was raised. I mean, that's how I am.
Right.
And I knew it took my mentor. I have a spiritual mentor who I'm so grateful for. And he was a man. So it was like having another man tell you, like, he said, Kia, because my name's Lakia. So he called me Kia. You are temperamental. And I'm like, look.
You're temperamental.
Look. I'm a Gemini. I'm gonna be temperamental. But when he said that, it hurt my feelings. But I had to understand, why is he saying this?
Right.
How is this going to show up in my marriage and make my husband look at me like, look, you got too many issues.
Too many.
I can't draw near to you. I'm going to be going this way. Right? So when I really started, that's the maturity. I had to see it and say, you know what? Why am I this way? Started doing the self-reflection, started going back to being raised in Hyattsville, Maryland, under Thomas and Ruth's household, right?
Right.
What did I see? A whole lot of emotions and moods. I saw a whole lot of arguing and fussing. And I literally took that and carried it under my own household.
Absolutely.
And if he would have told you, if your husband would have told you were temperamental, would you have been able to receive that from him?
Your face says it all.
Now you know. Well, you just need to get some tougher skin. I mean, it's you.
That part.
If you will stop doing things, then I wouldn't have to be temperamental.
You see what I'm saying? Rationalize.
Yeah.
Justification.
That's good.
All the things.
Oh, I was manipulative. Very. Because I didn't want to take ownership. In fact, I don't feel that I ever had to.
Right. Oh, wow.
Giving that, like, listen, you need to own your ish, and those are your issues.
Right.
And it came from how I was raised.
Absolutely.
So taking that moment to go back and say, well, how did my parents communicate? Let me really dig into that, because that's how I'm showing up right now in my marriage. And if I want this thing to last forever, then I better check. Look, who gonna check you, boo? You better check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You already know.
Not yourself.
And end up by yourself.
Real talk. That's so good. I think that let me hit a couple of these comments so I can give my little testimony real quick. Let's see. Hey, Dr. Sleen, that's my sister. What's going on? She said marriage helps you to identify the real you and the real version of your spouse.
The real version.
Good.
What? I love
That's
it.
good.
That's good.
And then I filmed DeCenta. What's going on, DeCenta?
DeCenta.
And she said, not LB, this lady is the truth. Look, you got fans far and wide.
Far and wide.
And then let's see, Ben. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, Ben.
That is the founder of BS3 Network
Network
on Roku TV.
Shout
Thank you
out.
for joining us tonight, Big Ben. And then we got Earl and Nicole. What's going on from
y'all.
Shreveport? We coming down there. We coming down there to see y'all. And then Doc, one of the CFOs of BS3, he said, "I love her already." What's going on, bro?
Already. Hey, Doc. How you doing?
We got some comments
and
over
then
here.
we do have a comment over here. We can't, for some reason, LB, we can't see our Facebook comments on here. But I'm gonna read this. Keith Jones says, "I think I would talk to myself about getting my finances in order and make sure spiritually sound before taking on such a leadership role." Come on, Keith. Let me clap you up, brother.
Right on. And that is a perfect segue into what I'm going to say.
Come on with it.
Go back and talk to, see, back in the day when I was in the streets, they used to call me D-Love. If I had to go back and talk to D-Love.
Excuse me, it was delicious. Let's don't tell the whole truth. No.
Anyway, what I would go back and tell myself, my younger self, is to check your ego.
At the door.
That would be the first thing, because we are men, we are very in tune with our egos, and I had to I need to stop trying to prove so much. You know what I'm saying? You know, being hard and being gangster and all that kind of stuff ain't what it is.
It ain't nothing.
And so one of the things that happened early on when we were together, for those that you don't know, she's a beautiful creature and she looks so good, but she ain't no punk. She ain't no pushover.
Like that.
Yo,
I'm sweet.
I said you sweet.
Let me be kind. Let them know me from marriage is real.
So, but see, this is the thing. I knew that I needed a woman that would challenge me, because she was, like she was saying earlier today, I would run somebody over. So God know what D-Love needed. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, I would think, like, if we would go somewhere or something would happen, and let's say we would go and be around her family, I would, you know, she may say something to me. And so there is a very big
strong presence of women.
Strong presence of women in their family. Yeah. So I would be like, I gotta show my man, my chest gotta be real poked out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna let them think, because you know, they be talking and all that stuff. I ain't gonna be the one, because I ain't no punk about mine. But see, what I didn't realize, and that's what she told me, was that didn't make me seem strong. That comes across as weak. It does. I didn't know that. Yes. I had no idea that that's what it did.
Hello, fellas. Overcompensation comes across as weak. Just FYI.
So yeah, I would go back and tell myself that, like, yo, bro, you don't have to try to prove yourself, because in the way that you are modeling what manhood looks like, in the way that you're treating her, and you being kind and loving and patient, shows what real manhood looks like.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
But that joker back there didn't know that.
Of course. But, you know, that speaks to me about, because I think you said something earlier about what was modeled for you, like going back to how you were raised with your mom and your dad. And a lot of us didn't have those models, and the models we did have a lot of times were defective. We had defective models, you know. And so if you're trying to base what you're doing now on something that was defective back then, you're creating a toxic environment for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you're repeating a cycle, because I mean that was Thomas and Ruth's marriage. My marriage didn't have to look like that, but that was an example. And I used to blame them. That was another thing I brought into my marriage, the blame game. Because I blamed them for not being the best example. They were being what they could for each other at that moment. And what they taught me was what happiness did not look like. What they taught me was what not to do. That's good. So now that I can take this, but it took me some growing up, because I would come to my marriage with Derek and like blame him for everything. Like literally, I could not take accountability if it was the sarcasm. Mrs. Sarcastic, Mrs. Know-it-all, Mrs. Controlling. I had a reason. I had a reason why I was showing up that way, and you caused me to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a cause and effect, and you the cause.
Yes. you don't want me you don't want that Gemini to come out, do you? So until I started owning it, like you said, really just owning how I was showing up, that's when marriage became not so hard. And it wasn't that it was always hard. I was making it hard by the way I was choosing to show up.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's the thing, I think that you don't hear that as much nowadays, is everyone's pointing the finger. Nobody wants to take accountability. Everybody wants the perks of marriage. I want all the sex, and I want you to rub my feet and rub my back and rub my bath water and cook my food. But you don't want to take accountability for what parts you might play. Because like we always say, there are no innocent parties. Everybody got something they got to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
So do you want to throw a little something in this thing?
So I'll say the thing that I need to go back and tell myself back then, because I need to tell myself and say to myself, you need to go ahead and get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Woo!
Because you're doing life with a different person who is not you, and it's a man.
Yes.
Because we think so differently than these awesome creatures that God has created. A lot of times I don't understand. I'll be just like, I don't understand. But now being on this side almost 24 years in, it's like, that's how God made them. And it's with reason. But I would tell myself that you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and apologize quickly and often.
Ooh, that's good.
And
that's
for
good.
me, I would choke on I'm sorry's, because it's like you said, your fault. You did it. You the cause. Well, if you feel like that, my bad. But
that was the
apology.
Yeah, because if you feel like that, my bad. You should have said it like that. You know?
Oh, you would find a way to not own it. Like, it's like, okay, absolutely. I mean, I was wrong for doing that, but wait a minute, if you say but, then everything that you just said,
everything
is gone, and it only matters what comes after that. So that was me. But now, I'm able to, I've matured,
Absolutely.
Let's see. It is
to see yourself grow up and to see how you used to handle things. And that's one thing you said too, Jamie, y'all bounce back. We bounce back so much faster. We just had a situation yesterday, and it was, you could just tell the energy was shifting on the phone. And I felt myself getting warm. And I'm like, who is it going to be? LaKia, Kia, Shantae, LB, who coming out? Like, I could feel the multiple personalities. Girl, don't you stay it. So we got off the phone and I was like, okay, how did I contribute to that energy shifting? I've never done that. Well, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, but I would never do that.
Right.
Like, how did I contribute to this conversation? Kind of going left. It didn't go all the way left. And at that moment, I started owning, well, you could have done this better. Or maybe you shouldn't have, spoken in that tone. Or maybe you should have asked instead of assumed. Like, all of these things are going through my mind. And I was actually just about to go pick up our daughter, our 4-year-old souvenir from Jamaica. And I was going to go surprise him, had already planned this, surprise him at the shop. Like, just go by and just say, hey, because he comes home late and the girls are sometimes asleep. And old LB would have been like, shoot, I'm going home. You see me.
Yeah.
But the makeover LB said,
you
know what? I'm going to go ahead and drive, even though we just had this little tiff. This little spat on the phone. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the barbershop. And when I pulled up, do you know how happy that man was?
Very.
You know how he was to see me, baby. You come pull up on me. What's up, baby?
Right.
And it's like we kissed. It was like a quick makeup, and I was like, wow, look where we are. This feels good to be in this space. Whereas when we first got married, baby, I would have been at that house so fast. I would have been doing donuts to the house. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. And I ain't talking to you for 2 days. What?
I need wine. Look, I need I tell my ladies to take a sip. I need to take a sip on that one. That would be me. Because I don't even know why now. I don't even know why I'm mad.
That part, that's real.
Yeah.
And you just holding that grudge forever. He come in, he just, like I said, they so simple. They just like, hey, baby. Hey.
Right.
What's wrong with you? Nothing. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it means something. Knowing, why do we do that, Jamie? Come on, let's have a moment. Why do we do that? Why, ladies, help me out. Why do we say nothing when we know nothing means something?
It means a lot of something. It really do. Like when you tell them don't buy you nothing for your birthday, or don't buy me nothing for Valentine's, and then when they don't do it, you be like, I mean, at least it could have. No, because men take you at your word. So that's what you say.
Maybe you did that, didn't you? You did before.
Long time ago.
Oh my God.
Let me hit some of these comments real quick. Let's see. Earl Nicole said they can't wait for us to come. We coming. We gonna come. Doc talk. He said, "Ain't gonna call no grown man delicious."
He was delicious.
I am delicious. No. Hey, Sharika.
Hey, sis.
Thank you for joining us.
Back.
Sharika was with Jamie the night that we met. That's how long they've been friends.
Yeah, that's my best friend from high school. We've been knowing each other.
Sharika.
Middle school.
And then the center said, "Come on, Jamie. Yes, be okay with being uncomfortable."
Man, that right there.
That's it.
Oh, I need to go tell her. Just whisper in her ear. And then she gonna say, well, I ain't getting married then.
You talking about young Jamie?
Yeah.
Crop top Jamie.
Cleavage Jamie.
Okay. So let's go. There's another comment.
Keith Jones just said facts.
Oh, okay. So who want to go next?
Well, I have another one.
Go on with it.
Okay. This the one that's gonna be okay. All marriage advice don't work.
Girl, if I had a shoe, I would throw it at you and then just throw it.
Okay. I'm gonna give you one that just comes to mind because you always hear it.
I know what you're
Never
gonna
go to bed angry.
I knew he was gonna say it.
No, so but this is the maturity part because I'm like, okay. Y'all, like I know it's Bible. I know it's in the Bible, but come on, y'all. If you get married and you have your little arguments, ain't nobody gonna say what the Bible say. We can never go to bed angry. No, I got an attitude. You got an attitude. Yeah. If we stay up, it's about to be World War V. Because it's like
exactly.
You better go to bed.
So for me, I think it's not. I try not to give the advice that everyone, the typical, you got to communicate. Whenever that, I'm not the one that comes to your bridal shower and give you that cookie cutter. Everybody tells you advice. I'm gonna tell you, go to bed angry. Like, what?
Right.
I'm like, no, seriously, because now in year 12, we don't go to bed angry.
Right.
But year 1 and 2, baby, go over there. I'm gonna go to my corner. You go to your corner, and we'll figure this thing out in the morning. Because sometimes you have to cool off.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true. That takes emotional intelligence. You ain't always got that when you first got married. Come on now. It takes that. So I have to dispel. I like to dispel and debunk some of those, I guess common marital, advice tips that we get. Because nah, boo.
It's a myth.
It is a myth.
Yeah.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
Man, we need to do a video on that. Marital myths.
Right.
That one right there. That is unrealistic.
That's the one.
That's unrealistic.
Y'all.
I go to bed mad. I go to bed mad. It ain't even that, because of him. I gotta be mad at me.
Right. Mad at today. Mad at the client. Mad at your kids. Mad at them.
Just mad.
The sun is out. I'm mad. Like, let's just keep it real.
106. I'm mad.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that we've said many times is sometimes when you go to bed, sometimes if you're mad and if you've got sleep patterns and you sleep close, sometimes that energy of just being close to each other and connecting that way will kind of help to diffuse the situation, and you may not wake up as mad as you were originally.
Yeah. And again, it all comes with, like you said, emotional maturity and being mature in marriage, because when you mad and you young and you immature, you ain't gonna touch them in your sleep. Talking about on this one little piece of bed, right?
If you feel a toe, you like,
Real.
Right. Let's see. The censor said, "All marriage advice don't work. I just throw my phone." Yeah, I just threw my phone. Yes, LP. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's real.
So I piggybacking off of what you said, that's one of the things I wish I would have known too, is like, consider the source and make sure you're getting wise marital counsel, and not just that counsel that is like we doing this or we saying this because this is the way it's always been said, and this is always the way it's always been done.
Right.
But we can see over all these past decades that don't work.
Right.
So we got to do a new thing.
Right. And then sometimes just because somebody been married 30, 40, 50 years don't mean that it's a productive. That joint is toxic as hell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, because at this point, they're like, look, I done been with you, you done been with me. Let's just
I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere.
Right. Absolutely.
But people are actually in those types of marriages.
Yes.
And be the main ones trying to tell you what to do.
And, take a sip. I swear, I just with a drink. I'm just water. And turn that into wine. I'm just
real talk. Let me throw another one in here. So stop beating yourself up so much.
Oh.
I think as a man, when you are striving to do things the right way and you want to be a good husband, you want to be a good father, you can be very hard or very critical of yourself.
Yep.
And that's not productive. That's not going to help the overall situation with your family and with your wife and your kids. So just realizing and knowing that mistakes are normal.
Yeah.
And you know, I was talking to one of our coaching clients. I mean, coaching clients, is that right?
Yeah.
Coaching clients the other day. And I gave him the analogy of Michael Jordan and how Michael Jordan would shoot 900 free throws every day before he left practice. So if you shoot 900 free throws, do you know how many free throws you're going to miss? But you know why? Because you're taking more shots. If somebody took 10 shots and they made 9, that's cool. But if you took 900, you're probably going to maybe around 50% or less or whatever, but you're taking more shots than the normal person.
Right.
But you have to realize that you're going to make mistakes and you acknowledge the mistake, but you move on. You don't sit in it and just fester in it. You just acknowledge it and say, okay, that was, I should have went right instead of left or whatever. And then you just move on, but not just sitting in it. And then also, I should have told myself or should tell myself, you have to learn to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-care and things that, men, especially Black men, we don't get in here. And so we gotta start tapping into some of this stuff and some of these resources and knowing like, the stuff and the way that things used to be back in the day, that doesn't necessarily work.
Right.
And it's okay to acknowledge that and then forgive yourself. And then most importantly, like I said, don't live in the past. You got to keep moving and move forward.
Right.
Yes. I hear grace, like extending yourself grace.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's good.
I
mean, because you said it too, Jamie, earlier. Like, this is your first time, even if it's your second time, it's your first or second or third time doing this thing with that person.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
I'm not John's wife. I'm not Kane's wife. I'm Derek's wife. So I'm the wife that Derek needs me to be.
We talk about it all the time. That started to be my prayer maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. I said, I have to start praying to God to make me the wife that he needs, not the wife that I even think that I want to be. Because I could think I'm doing good. And he's like, you trash, So I'm like, make me the wife that he needs to be. Make me the mother that my kids need. Because I'm just standing in the, what is this? In the gap and whatever. As he's using us, I'm saying God is using us as a vessel for this person, your husband, for your kids, for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he puts you there as an assignment for this person. So what do you need me to do to make this person their best self? And as you're doing that, you're going to have to work on you. It's no way you can continue to be the same person and think you're going to be helpful to someone else. Because you have to ask the question too, what does help look like to you? Because I could think I'm doing a great job. Like I'm supportive. I'm a supportive wife. I'm cooking up 2 meats every night. And he's like, I don't care about none of that.
Right.
You're not giving up the tail. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know, what, right?
Yeah, damn
Right.
That's true. That's
You
good.
just gotta know what they need and understand that one of the things that I wish I could have told myself is change is constant in marriage, because you are continuously, as you're growing, you're continuously changing. So this is continuously a new thing, and I don't have anything to compare it to. This is new. Even though we're the same people, essentially we're not the same people. Because we're changing. You know what I'm saying? I always liken it to like when you were younger, you could maybe you can eat ice cream past 8 o'clock. Now it's like, no, it's 8. Now it's 8:15. I can't eat that. I'm gonna be tore up. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to pivot. You have to pivot a lot in marriage and continue to inspect and adapt. Like, okay, let's look and see. Let's look retrospectively and say, okay, yeah, like what's working, what's not working.
That's it.
And that's
it. According to the season that your marriage is in, what's working, what's not working, and what do we need to invest in?
Absolutely.
That's it. That's good, Jamie.
Yeah, that's good, babe.
Yep.
She's so smart and beautiful.
I guess you got what you need.
You crazy.
This is good. No, I mean, I'm really thinking like, wow, we have grown, y'all. Is it my turn? Look, I'm ready.
Go.
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay. I guess if I had to tell LB, young LB, the wife, the married woman, because she wasn't really a wife yet.
Right.
It would be to get rid of expectations.
That's good.
Listen to me. Listen to me. When I tell you, you don't even realize you're coming into marriage with expectations, and a lot of them are either unrealistic, they're unmet, or they're unspoken. Oh, I had no idea that I was carrying certain expectations based on me watching too many episodes of, or watching too many episodes of something with Black love, like romantic Black comedies. I was watching Love Jones in The Notebook, and I'm getting married thinking this is really how it's going. Like, y'all, I was brainwashed. Where the butterflies? I don't feel no butterfly. Why would I look at him? I just look at him like this. You know what I mean? Like, the expectations that we've been together since we were I was 19, Derek was 20.
Okay.
I had the expectation that he's supposed to know what I want. You're supposed to know by now what I want. I still gotta tell you.
I still don't know.
Jamie, you just said change is constant. We are ever evolving, right? So why do my husband know? Okay, the LB when she was 19 is gonna be the same LB when she's 43. Like, come on, boo.
No.
Right.
I had to learn to ask and really be very clear on what I desire and what I need. Right. Sometimes I have to repeat it. And that was another unrealistic expectation. Why do I have to repeat myself?
Right.
That's good. That's good.
That's real good.
I did not want to repeat myself. You know why? Because that's Mrs. Controlling. That's Mrs. When I say something, you're just supposed to do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like my husband's my child. No, you know why he don't remember? Because he got other things on his mind as well. Like you his priority, baby, but Jesus. Do you know what just happened at work? Do you know what he was dealing with? No.
Yeah.
But those are those unrealistic expectations that I had coming into marriage. So that would be my next.
That's great.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And the biggest one too is, like you said, the unspoken, undisclosed expectation that you ain't never told nobody.
Right. And how can we hold somebody accountable for something that you ain't never told them?
Talking about he's supposed to know. Do you know? You don't even know.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. We have a lot of women, married women, they might be on here tonight, who have these expectations that your man is just supposed to know. That's where communication comes in. That's where effectively communicating your needs. What is it that you need? And you know what? Understanding that you may have to say it more than once. I mean, even you gonna fight. Look, at this point, y'all still fighting over the toilet seat up. I'm just saying, I'm past that in my life.
Yeah.
Because you know what my husband told me, Damien, this is funny, but it's not. I'm like, why y'all can't put the toilet seat down?
Yeah.
He's like, well, why can't y'all put it up? Because it looks better down. And I'm like, yeah. Well, why can't we put it? Because it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
That was my attitude. So it's again, really just check checking yourself and figuring out where all these issues or this ish is coming from.
Right. Exactly.
That's so good. Man, that's good.
Queendom Building. What's going on? I don't think we've had you on before. Thank you so much. They said, yes, change is constant. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Change is constant. You want to jump in, love?
I'll go get some more.
Do it. I put them down there.
Oh.
They're my comments.
No,
I just put in what LB said. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just putting for the peoples.
You reiterate,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You say you're going to go?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I already said mine. I said change is constant.
Oh, yeah, you did say it. All right. Keep moving. So another thing that I would go back and tell D-Love, your wife is not motivated the way that you are. Yeah. So if any guy comes from a sports background, the way that we motivate each other is different. Like, it's one of our shows that we watch our little late night sitcoms at night before we go to bed. And so one of them is Mike and Molly, and we always laugh when this part comes on. And she was in the process of writing a book. And so she was having writer's block or whatever. And so he decided he was going to help her, right? He going to motivate her. So he gets right up in her face and said, you stop it. You do what you need to do. You get your head in the game.
You write the book.
And he basically airing her out. He is airing her out. And then he's like sitting there like, yeah, I got it. And then she just starts crying. She just breaks down in tears. And he was like, what's wrong? And she covered her face. She said, you're being mean to me. And he's like, no, I'm not being mean to you. I'm trying to motivate you. And so that's what I would go back and tell myself is that inspirational speeches are usually for us. Not that there aren't some women out there that go for that, but don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and be kind and tender and gentle. You know what I'm saying? But don't go hard like that.
I think the biggest thing too with that is, I guess because men are like, my word is my bond. You know, if I say it, that's what I mean. If you said this, I take you at your word type thing. Yep. But a lot of times, most women, I'm gonna say me, we're more action oriented. It's more like show me. It's more like what are you doing? Because you can say a lot of stuff, but what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I think just because you're saying all this stuff to me, that's not motivating me to do anything. A lot of times, your leadership and what you're doing can be an inspiration to me and inspire me and make me have aspirations to be like, dang, that's really good. He's doing good. Most times, oftentimes, wives are mirror reflections of their husbands. You know, so maybe that's why, you know, is what you were saying. Like you saying, men don't do that because that's not what that ain't how we roll. That doesn't impact us like that.
But, I mean, he took the team literally. You said we a team, so I'm motivating you like a coach.
Yeah. He stepped on the foot like, yeah.
Oh,
and she like, no.
Oh, no, that absolutely ain't gonna work. Shoot.
And I got a little sub part under that. Don't give her space. Go towards her.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, explain because I want.
Yeah. I got this from my wife. She put me up on game.
There's a caveat to this, but let him say his part first.
So, a lot of times when we get angry or something, we're having a disagreement or something. We may say, you know, I need some space. I want to, you know, don't want to talk. You know, I'm gonna go across the bridge. I'm gonna go do whatever. But what my wife has showed me and has taught me is that when there's a disagreement, that you would move in, and that's how you show that you care, is by going towards her and pulling her in, as opposed to removing yourself.
And that like I said is a caveat, because there are some times where you say you need space. Look, we done had a blowout. We do need to go our separate ways. Give me that space. I'm asking you to give me this space. But if there's a situation where we just had like this ugly, you know, disagreement, and we just kind of like it just fell apart, and there was no rhyme or reason as to how we left things, and then you just living your life, you just, you know, going to the grocery store, you talking to your homies on the phone, you talking to your mom, and you acting like this is not bothering you. Right. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, oh, you got to always be the first one to apologize, but the way that women are wired, we like the chase. We like for you, and it's not even a chase. I hate to say it like a chase, but for you to come to us, you know what I'm saying? Come toward me to show me that what just happened mattered to you. Because sometimes the way that men are, it can just come across like they don't care. Like they don't care because we're emotion first. So we still holding on to this, and in their mind, they could think, oh, that wasn't even a big a deal. I'm good. But she is like toe up. You know what I'm saying? So go toward her and just check in. You good, baby? Okay, I know that you know how that went or whatever. Whatever the case is, just don't go on your merry way. Like it's you know, like just it ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
I do. Because you're right. Like they brush a lot of stuff off.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. I pulled up to the barbershop. Derek walked out like, "Hey," like nothing just happened. That's what I'm saying. And you know, I had a little drive on my way to get myself together. You know, I'm just like, hey, how did you contribute? What did you? Well, you shouldn't have done that. You know, I'm talking to myself. But he came out like, "What's up?"
Right.
His bounce back game is strong.
Most men are like that, and that's why I said sometimes you need to go to her and check in because you thinking it's good and she is told up. Yeah, but you trying to put on a happy face like, you know, I'm good, you know what I'm saying, because you don't want him to know, but you is so up. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah, I like that. Lean into her. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. And that has something to do with emotion. So I guess I can add this one too.
Come on with it.
Woohoo. You know, we're emotional beings, ladies. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I would say that your feelings are valid, but they're not fact.
Hey man, say it again for the people in the back. They ain't hear you.
Feelings are valid, but they're not fact. Everything was based on how I felt. Like, because, you know, and one thing we have to understand, our feelings are like indicators, right? That something's off, something's wrong. But your emotions change, your feelings change. So if we make decisions when we're heated, right? We can't rely on those feelings to make the best decision. So for me, I know I would be upset. And now it's like, okay, well, why are you upset for real? Like, what's the real issue? Mm-hmm. Are you upset? Because he made me, well, is it really that he did something? Or is it that you know, was he triggered? Did he say a word and you were triggered? Because a lot of times I realize that it's not necessarily Derek. It's from things, trauma, childhood issues that I haven't worked through. Like my husband would say the word bills and I would get an attitude. You know why? Because bills were always due at Thomas and Ruth's house. And I saw what bills did to their relationship. I saw how I had to answer the phone and tell the bill collector that my mommy not here. And she looked at me right in my face. So when my husband said, yeah, where the bills? You know what I mean? We don't know. He didn't know where that attitude was coming from, but I had to do something. So my feelings had to be checked. I had to figure out, why am I being triggered?
Mm-hmm. That's good. You had to get to the root.
I had to get to the root of my feelings. But if I would have acted on my feelings all the time, thinking this is real, it would be a mess, y'all. We would not have any type of emotional intelligence or emotional security in our relationship.
Yeah. That's good.
That's so good.
That's
oh my God.
Good. That's
and that speaks to, like you said, that emotional security. That's one of the core needs of a woman when they talk about security. It's not just financial security, y'all. It's the emotional piece too. Woo. Is that your safe place? Is he your safe place? Can you just lean? Like you want them to come to you, but can you just lean into him? Like, do you feel like you trust him? Girl.
Hey.
Do you feel like you trust him though? Like, because a lot of times there are people that cannot be vulnerable within their marriage. Because vulnerability is hard. Married or not, I know a lot of married people that ain't truly vulnerable with each other. Because that is really hard. And based on, like you said, those past trauma triggers, even though you my wife or my husband, I ain't ready to share that. I don't know how you gonna look at me after when I tell you this, or is it gonna make me seem weak? Is it gonna make me seem, whatever? So just recognizing that, y'all. Come on,
that's good.
But like you said, them feelings, oh Lord, they are fleeting. You can be happy today and sad tomorrow. You can be, ecstatic at 2 and then pissed off at 3. So you just don't you have the feelings, but don't let them have you. That's what I say.
Especially this temperamental Gemini. I'm telling you, that took some work, y'all. The gym, I mean, I was just moody. I'll be cool. And then next thing you know, snap.
Mm-hmm.
And action. And I was somebody else. And Derek like, who are you? You talking about emotional security. He didn't feel secure. He didn't know who he was about to get.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you gonna do to me in my sleep. Why you acting like that? But I will say this too, like that made me think about, you say Gemini, I say hormones. Cause I'm gonna say them hormones, I ain't making no excuses, y'all, but I would just say this, fellas and women too, because sometimes you don't recognize hormones are real. And as God has blessed me with life into these beautiful 40s, oh, the changes, oh man. Yeah. And I used to think I was going crazy. And sometimes I feel like some people that I know gave up on their marriage based on their hormones. I really truly feel like that, because you think what you do is you start looking for every outside thing, and you think this is what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. But you don't realize it's you, boo. It's you. Maybe you need to get some hormone replacement therapy. Maybe you need to drink some apple cider vinegar. But sometimes those hormones affect your mentality. It affects your mind, because if you start forgetting stuff, you know what I'm saying? You having hot flashes, all this stuff is changing. You don't think that it's going to affect your mood and your mind, and what you think in your mind affects how you think you feel in your heart.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I would just say, for people out there, guys, please give her grace. I'm not making excuses, but I'm saying it from experience, because I used to judge it. I'm saying I used to judge people, be like, I'm just having my hormones and PMS, because when I was younger, I didn't deal with that. I just oh dang, I started my cycle. Nothing ever changed. But as God blessed me with grace and graced me with age, I started feeling it. I just have to tell him, I'm in the mood. And I'm just gonna tell you, because it's not even nothing you do. He could just walk in the door and it'd be like, hey, I just used to be, I just like, why do I, and I knew, but I'm like, why do I feel like this? What is wrong with me?
I appreciate you, because you're giving me some knowledge. I haven't gone there yet. My mom she went through menopause, I think maybe early 40s.
Wow.
Not even realizing that, like that new season in your marriage. So I appreciate you sharing that and the transparency, because we don't talk about that.
Yes.
Early stages of marriage.
Yes.
We can be, then you go through this transition where your bodies are changing. Sex may not be as frequent. I ain't saying that for y'all, but you understand. Right. We don't talk about what that season looks like. And so it's important that we hear the real, this extent, baby. We need grace in our marriage.
We do.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
You can't do marriage without grace. You ain't gonna make it.
You're not gonna make it. Let me hit a couple of these comments. We almost been on an hour already. What? Crazy, right?
Hey.
Crazy. Time is going. Let's see. Queendom Building said, my sister-in-law, DeCenta, sent me here. Thank God she did.
Thanks, appreciate you, fam.
And Queendom Building, please subscribe to
Thank
Marriage
you
is
for joining
Real.
us. We appreciate
and
y'all.
LB, the wife coach.
Yes.
Let's see. Eric Butler, thank you for joining us, Eric. He said that was real.
Appreciate you, but Eric.
DeCenta said, wow, LB, I want to believe they are facts.
I know, baby.
And then she said, OMG,
oh my goodness,
this is good. And then Eric said, that's a lack of trust, right? Which is a relationship killer, correct? Non-vulnerable. Yeah.
It is. That is a lack of trust, but
yeah.
But sometimes it's personal, depending on what it is. Like, because I just say what I've been through. It was hard for me, the vulnerability piece, because of past traumas, hurts, pains, and things like that. It's just, you're embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that I don't necessarily trust you. It's just about how it's going to make me feel. And then, are you going to look at me differently? Even though I don't feel like you will, it's just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's what vulnerability is. You can't control the person's response or reaction to what you share. Yeah. And so, are you willing to? That's stripping completely naked. To me, that's being naked.
Yeah.
You be able to say, "Baby, I'm scared. You know what, baby? I'm really hurt that this didn't work. If something in my business happens, that I can go to my husband and just say, "Baby, I feel like a failure." Like instead of always putting on the front, like I got this together. No, baby, I'm hurting. I want to cry. You know, he like, go ahead and cry and then talk to me. You're like, cry don't cry and talk. Because you know you cry, y'all. What are you saying, baby? I want to hear you.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for men too,
Yeah.
to be able to know that they can, lean into us and lean on us and share, because I think vulnerability is really hard for men, like you said, to be like, oh, I feel like I failed at work, or I feel like, my leadership ability, my leadership skills ain't coming through the way that I want them to, or whatever the case is. But because of who he is to you, he doesn't want to seem weak in other areas of life.
And there's a caveat to that.
Go ahead.
And the caveat to that is if your husband feels confident enough to come to you and be vulnerable, and then you shut him down, or you come against him, or make him feel as though you aren't safe enough for him to do that, you'll get that, and that'll be it. You won't get that no more. So make sure that if he's coming to you, that you don't be like, oh, you sad? God gave us those emotions.
Yes.
God made crying for a reason, because I'll be doggone if another man needs to die from stress and all that because he's holding everything in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I can't talk to you and I'm getting beat up in the world, who am I talk to?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't want a robot man. I don't want AI. You know what I'm saying? I want a real, tangible, physical person.
Yeah.
And I think this is a perfect segue into my final point. But before I do, the census said, yes, we do need grace. A lot of it.
Yes, we do.
The final thing that I would tell young D that he needed to hear, and sometimes still needs to hear today, is to listen to your wife.
Ooh.
That's it. Good night. Thank you. That's all we need to say. The show is over.
And I have to expound on this. We might go a little over an hour today.
Now hear this.
Listen to your wife. I know we the leaders. I know we got it all and we know it all and everything, but we really don't. You don't know everything. You don't know all of what's going to happen. Yep. And like I say all the time, if you look in the Bible and you read in Proverbs 31, the Bible refers to wisdom as she. Remember that God pulled her out of you. There's a piece of her, a piece of me, a piece of you that was pulled out that you might need access to sometime. There were so many times in our marriage that I would do things, say things, make decisions, because I'm the leader, I'm the man. And I tell her all the time, I'm gonna buy you a helicopter because you stuck in here with me as I was emotionally maturing through these years.
Because we both were.
That's what I'm saying? And so I would just racking my brain trying to figure out what we need to do. Why this? How we gonna do this? And you know what God told me one day? He said, after you finally got to the answer or the response to whatever there was, you could have just asked your wife. She answered to that a long time ago.
Boom.
You could have to her. You could have tuned in with her, and your answer was there. I gave it to you. Undercat. Dio, listen to your wife. Will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. Because what happens is when you give something to your wife, this ain't me, this is what Miles Monroe said. When you give something to your wife, she never gives it to you the way that you gave it to her. It always becomes something better. And so if you give her that problem, there may be a solution in her that can help whatever situation you're going through.
And it's the same, y'all, for us. We were supposed to do life together. We're supposed to be partners. So you're not supposed to figure it all out by yourself. Like that defeats the whole purpose of this thing that we call marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to be controlling and be the HNIC, and you over there just stressing because leadership is hard. And why not? If you have somebody in your corner who is there to edify you and undergird you, why not say, you know what? Hey, let me delegate this out to you. Let me see what you're gonna come up with, and then we're gonna come back together, and then you can come up with it together. Two heads have always been better than one. So
right.
I digress. But y'all heard he said it, fellas.
That's good.
We didn't. He said it. So look, you got a comment right there.
Okay.
The Simpsons.
I'm gonna let you read a comment.
The Simpsons crazy. The Simpsons talking about not me jumping out my bed, praise dancing, praying my husband hears this testimony. That's good, Damien.
Tell your husband to holler at me. I talk to him. We can talk. We can all talk. We can chop it up.
Come on and tune in.
We be coaching sometimes. We be coaching.
No, we just looking for friends for real.
And then Eric said, indeed, Damien, men need that space to be vulnerable. Greatest gift a wife can give.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good. And that's from another man, ladies. You know, sometimes I say this too. They need to what you say, they need to listen to our wives, but sometimes women, we need to listen to them too. Because they be telling you. Because one thing about a man, they're not like us. It's not like, oh, well, he said this, but then he doing this, so he might. What did he say?
He usually gonna say.
He usually gonna say what it is.
Yeah. You got a man of character. He gonna pretty much try to stick to the script because he knows that his word is his bond. That's what his foundation is. Right. And that's the same thing I teach my son.
Right.
If you say you're gonna do something, you got to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Love that.
Ooh, this was the quickest hour
I
in
know.
the world.
I swear.
2 minds are better than one. Agreed. Yep.
And then he said, teamwork
makes the dream work. Yeah, dude. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
LB, what you got going? What you want to tell the people before we sign off? What you got?
I'm just so grateful. I just want everybody to know that, marriage is truly what you make it. And depending on what season you're in, like, go and look and see what's been going on. Is it communication? Is it sex? Is it intimacy? Is it lack of date nights? Whatever it is, you have the power to make it over. Like, you can really make your marriage everything you desire for it to be, but you got to start working on you.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's it right there.
That's hard though. The center. You got to work on you.
Yeah.
That's what happens, because when you change, everything that's connected to you changes.
Right.
The ecosystem.
And I don't know who said this, but it's been said that self-mastery takes a lifetime.
Trust me.
And where can everybody find you, LB?
Well, my playground is Instagram, and I take care of business at thewifecoach.com.
Let me just
thewifecoach.com. And what are you on Instagram? I mean, on Instagram.
The Wife Coach on Instagram. I mean, I'm on Facebook too, but I really be on my playground, which is Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, we like to be at the playground,
Oh man, this has been so great. Thank you again so much, LB, for joining us. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
And also, Friends with Rings. I got to shout out Friends with Rings.
Yes.
That is where we connected.
Yes.
We talked a little bit before, but that's where we really started coming together.
Absolutely.
But Friends with Rings, and we're gonna get Tony Ann to come on too. I said, you next. I told her that today on Instagram. We're gonna get her on here. But yeah, Friends with Rings, we're both on the board for Friends with Rings, and we just try to spread the good news of beautiful, lovely marriages. So.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Marriage is real, fam.
Real, man.
Yeah. Please go follow us too on Marriage is Real. Everything, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We got 4 more subscribers.
Oh, okay.
Now we got 5.
No,
just play.
Shaba. They don't know about it. They don't know.
Yeah, but please go follow us, and if you guys need us, Jamie and I, we do a little coaching. Y'all want to talk? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we love you guys. Thank you so much. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, bro?
Hey, Jonathan.
That's the fam right there. Thank you for joining us again.
Tell Jacqueline we say hey.
Yeah, they in Atlanta too. That's what's up.
And Eric Butler says, great points and insight, everyone. Great show. The Wife Coach on Instagram. Thanks, LB. Great stuff. MarriageIsReal.com. Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you so much.
Bro. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Marriage is Real. We'll see you guys next week.
We
Take
love
care.
y'all.
Be blessed.
Blessings and trains.
Swap on the track right here.